Hey everyone, it's me, Moody Boo, coming at you from the grandbaby's pool in our backyard. It's another triple-digit day, so I felt it was appropriate to cool off while I'm telling you about my husband's favorite perfumes on me. Now, his lists and his tastes don't change much throughout the years, but he never really got into my perfumes till I started doing YouTube reviews. Now, he's still just getting into them, and I'm just exploring my fragrances with him now. I didn't used to subject him to it because he's very allergic to certain kinds of perfumes. But I have found a whole collection of them that he really loves on me, so I'm going to give you the top 10. I'm not going to put them in any particular order because y'all know his favorite on me. And this is Amir Al Oud by Lattafa. This is his Cinecouch. Now, do I get that? Not exactly. I get a very slightly leather oud, slightly sweet, wonderful, wonderful perfume. I don't necessarily, with some cinnamon in there, but the couch note I'm not so sure about. But that's what he gets, and that's what he loves, and that's what I run with. Wonderful stuff. Performance is crazy on this. This is one that I would not wear during hotter months unless it was a really cold day, and then I might put some on. But this stuff is pretty beastly, so I'll try to remember to put a link down below for Abu Jada on Khalid's eBay store. I've noticed that the supply and demand, the popularity of it has gone up quite a bit, so he's able to buy bigger and bigger batches of Amir Al Oud, more bottles at a time, so the price is about half of what it used to be. It used to be $33, and then I think it was $10 for shipping, and he still charges the $10 for shipping, but it's coming from the United Arab Emirates, so that's a really good deal. And it's now like 19 bucks. It's under $20 a bottle. So this is still Jim's favorite on me, Amir Al Oud by Lattafa. About is my Bespoke from Kerosene, Needful Thing, and this is just a beautiful oud, cinnamon, vanilla, tonka and musk kind of a perfume. Just gorgeous. Performance is grand. If you haven't seen my Bespoke video, I recommend you check it out and get yourself a Bespoke from Kerosene. Very reasonable, great guy to work with, and he is a master. He's a true artist. So another one is Needful Thing by Kerosene. My husband loves on me is M&M Ink or M Mink. I know that it's called this not as much for the animalic smell, but as the ink smell, and you do get that, but it's very furry to me, and this is one that Jim really loves. He finds it to be very animalic and turns him a little animal when he smells it, but this isn't for everybody. It's very beastly. It's another one that most people don't wear during the hotter months, but I find it gorgeous in the heat. It is beautiful. It's not overpowering like you might think. It's just this beautiful kind of a earthy, animalic smell with a little bit of ink in there. It's not sweet at all, but it's gorgeous. And that's Byredo M&M Ink or M Mink, however you want to say it. Gorgeous stuff, but don't blind buy this. This is a very polarizing fragrance, a lot like eating kimchi, like I always refer to kimchi. You love it or you hate it, and that's the way with this perfume. I love it, and so does he. I first got into YouTube reviewing that Jim really fell in love with immediately, and it was an unsolicited comment, and most of these in this top 10, in fact all of them are unsolicited. That's why they're in the top 10. He does like some other ones, but I brought them to him for him to explore on me instead of him just realizing that I was wearing something that he enjoyed. So, it's like the double-blind studies that, anytime somebody's doing an experiment, their own opinions are going to influence the outcome. It doesn't matter how you do it, it just ends up that way. So I really appreciate the unsolicited comments because I didn't, try to force any kind of opinion out of him. So Amber Narguilé by Hermes has always been one of his favorites. It's always been one of mine. It will continue to be both of our favorite. Beautiful. He calls it a spiced apple pie. I totally agree with that. If you haven't smelled Amber Narguilé, you really should get your nose on it. It's probably Hermes' best fragrance, in my humble opinion anyway. When I first started out, unsolicited comment besides the Amber Narguilé that I got was by Kilian, and this is Love Don't Be Shy. He really enjoys this one as well. And this one, the performance isn't quite as good as some of the other ones in my list, but it's okay. It's moderate at best. And this is Orange Creamsicle is what I get out of it, and that's what he gets as well. I love it when our noses line up like that and we concur on what something smells like. But to me, this reminds me of, as a kid, you remember in the lunch line when you would get as a dessert the orange sherbet and vanilla ice cream mixed little plastic cups? That's what this reminds me of, but with less sherbet in it and more vanilla ice cream. Just beautiful stuff. Very gourmand. I find this a touch feminine, but I still think it's unisex. Anybody could pull it off. And that's Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. It is by Hilde Soliani, and this is Crema de Latte. And Jim says that this smells to him like caramel corn, and I get that. I do get some caramel and a slightly salty kind of a popcorn note in there. I totally get that. But after he's given me opinion, I get it. But then when I smell it on my own, after, I'm away from him, I still just get a very creamy latte. It's like, instead of using just straight milk in the latte, it's like you've used evaporated milk in it. It's a little sweeter than normal milk, but it's very creamy, very gourmand, and I think totally unisex. It's a beautiful perfume. I just love this one, and luckily so does he. He loves a Hilde. Always got to be a Hilde in my list, doesn't there? Love it. It didn't surprise me at all. I kind of knew when I smelled this that he was going to like it, and he so does. And this is Rouge No. 2 by Micallef. And let me tell you, this is one of her exclusive ones. She puts out, 2 to 4 of these exclusive ones that are limited edition each year. And when they're out, then they're done. She doesn't really bring them back. I tried Rouge No. 1. I liked it, but I totally fell in love with Rouge No. 2. Now, to me, if you like perfumes like Memlook by Xerjoff, you'll probably like Rouge No. 2. It's got this, it's so sexy. It's just one of the sexiest perfumes I've ever smelled. It's got this honey and floral note in there that just makes it creamy and sexy, and totally, I think this is very feminine. I'm sure there's guys out there that could pull it off, but I find it to be very feminine and extremely sexy. This is one that I would never wear during the day, only at night, but I think you could wear this year-round. Totally beautiful. I recommend you get your nose on this one. And that bottle, what? Isn't that gorgeous? I just think it's beautiful. So that's Rouge No. 2 by M. When Vagabond Prince first put out their first perfume, Enchanted Forest, I had to get it. I love Fragrantica. To me, this Enchanted Forest is so Pacific Northwest. Whenever I go to the Olympic Peninsula, we go through there every time we go to the coast to go salmon fishing or whatever. And we go through the Olympic Peninsula. It reminds me so much of Enchanted Forest, because you've got that cedar and pine smell, and then wild blackberries everywhere. And so that's what this reminds me of. It's just the pine needles and the hot cedar and the blackberry brambles, and it's not just the ripened berries, but it's the leaf, the bush, the dirt they grow in. It's the whole experience. So it's like somebody from the Pacific Northwest just decided to make a perfume that smells like the Pacific Northwest, and that's Enchanted Forest. It's beautiful, and Jim loves it. So Jim finds this much more gourmand than I do. Even with the blackberry and stuff, I don't find it gourmand at all. I find it more of a scent scene. It more creates a picture for me than it does a taste, a flavor. It so reminds me of the Olympic Peninsula that every time I smell it, I'm just in love with it even more. It just takes me back to the forest and the blackberries and a truly enchanted forest. I just love this stuff. So that's another one that Jimbo loves on me. So it's no wonder that another favorite of his on me is another Arabic perfume. That seems to be his favorite group of perfumes for me to wear are the stronger, more intense Arabian perfumes. And I agree, they're beautiful. And Kalamat is like a more wearable, slightly sweeter, more year-round version of Amir Al Oud. He says that it smells very similar. I do see the resemblance a lot, but there's less leather and more vanilla, I think, in here. And I think this is Amir Al Oud could be a little masculine to some people. I don't find it that. I find it very unisex, but some people could find it a little more masculine. This would be a little more on the feminine side of unisex, but still completely unisex. This is another one I got from Khalid at Abu Jauda over in the United Arab Emirates. And I'll try to remember to put his link below. But this is a more expensive than Amir. Amir, like I said, was like 20 bucks, $10 shipping. This one is under 100 with shipping. But the performance is grand, and like I said, it's much more wearable than Amir Al Oud. I think it's closer to Ragba by Latafa, but still better than Ragba. It just smells of a little higher quality of notes in it. Oh God, it's just beautiful. But I'll tell you, this one makes my hubby go a little animalic. He likes Kalamat a lot. And there's this from Arabian Oud. And I don't know which one came first. I think Kalamat came first, but then there's another one, I believe it's called Sahar Kalamat, and I love that one as well. It's a more masculine version. It's a little more incense in it, a little more spices, a little less sweet, but it's rich and dense and wonderful like those Arabic perfumes usually are. It's just beautiful, and they're usually very reasonable. So that's Kalamat by Arabian Oud. I haven't been wearing my oils normally, you know, as often as I normally do, because I keep forgetting to bring them into the bathroom with me, because I only wear oils after a shower. That's when I put them on. So if it's not in the bathroom with me, then I don't wear an oil. But I love oils. Usually for me, they don't project quite as well as a spray, but that's not true with this one. And this is Layal by Queen Bilqis. This is another one I got from Abu Jauda on Khalid's eBay store. And this is gorgeous. There's only like 5 mLs of oil in this thing, but it will last me for the rest of my life. This stuff is so beautiful. And it... I had put a little bit on my hand. I hadn't even thought of having Jim try this out, but I'd put a little bit on my hand and had just rubbed it in, because oils you rub in, sprayers you do not. And he just unsolicited was like, "Ooh, what'd you just put on? That's beautiful." And so I put my hand up to his nose where the Layal, I had just put the Layal on. And he was like, "Wow, that is so beautiful." He's like, "But," and he sniffed and sniffed and sniffed. He's like, "I can't pick out one single note in there. I can't tell you anything that might be, you know, make up this oil." And he said it's a strange one, but he's very attracted to it on me. And I get what he's saying. And there's nowhere I can find that has the proper breakdown of notes for Layal. But if I were to guess, I would definitely say there's vanilla and honey in there, because there's a slight animalic note to it, but I don't think it's musk. And I think there's some florals and some fruits in there, but it's sweet fruits like a banana note or something. It's not banana, but it's that kind of a sweet fruit smell. And then sweet flowers like rose, carnation, or something like that is in it as well. But it's the way they put it all together. It is so well blended. It's beautiful. I can't say enough about this oil. Now, I had pulled it out to try it again because I had just watched Natalie Patel. I'll try to remember to put a link to her channel down below too. Anyway, she had been talking about having some issues on her little stick of Layal, that it looked like there was some kind of residue that was on the stick. I don't have that with mine, maybe she did get a bad batch or something, but just remember with oils, you never want to put them in a fridge or anything because it gobbies them up. They like clot and get funky. And so, and you don't want them getting too hot either. But oils are real important to keep at room temperature because if they do get too cold, then they can get kind of gunky. So I don't think that's what happened with hers because she doesn't live in any area I don't think that gets very cold. But whatever, I'm not sure what happened with her bottle, but mine is gorgeous, mine's fine. I've had it for at least a year, I believe, and there's just no problems. There's some defects on the stick. You can see it's made out of glass too. You wouldn't be able to see this, but there's some defects on the very bottom, like there's some air bubbles in the glass, but that's the only thing with my bottle. And it's beautiful, and it's also very affordable. And like I said, this 5 mLs of oil, it projects like crazy. It lasts forever, and totally worth the price. I think it was like $40 for this bottle of Layal. My husband's favorite perfumes on me for 2014. I'm sure that I'll be adding a couple more, but he doesn't change much, so I doubt he'll ever stop liking these on me, but I'll probably have some new ones down the road to let you in on. So anyway, I'm just here to beat the heat, but I'm in the pool and I'm chillaxing. All right, folks, hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.